Hello, hello, this is Simone. I have another scrapbooking process video for you today using the Cocoa Daisy February memory keeping kits. And this is a cut file that my friend Suzanna created, and I asked her if I could use it because I really liked the circles, but my cutting machine is a silhouette portrait that can only cut 8.5 in width and by 11 or even larger. It can cut as long as you want it to, but it's only 8.5 inches wide. So I have been meaning to try cut files that are meant to be for 12 by 12 size, using my portrait and seeing how I can adapt them to use on a 12 by 12 layout, but still make them work even though my cutting machine cannot cut 12 inches wide. So I tried that, and this is what I did. I just tried what would happen if I printed it, and it just prints what is in the print window or cut window. And so I just moved the cutting window so that I would have two different parts of the cut file cut. And then I just layered them onto the edge of the file so that it would look like I had a 12 by 12 width, and just cut it down, if that makes sense, right? So that's what I did, and I am scrapbooking my son at 11 years old. If you have watched my Project Live process video for 2018, the subtitle page, I decided, instead of adding a journaling card to my Project Live album in the beginning with their current favorites, I would do a birthday layout where I would then write their current favorites down. And then I am planning on doing this every year so that we could see how they change. This photo was taken on my son's 11th birthday, and I had this cool happy birthday banner that was stuck to his shirt. However, it will not end up on my layout. But the color scheme, the rainbow colors of that sticker, that was what inspired me to use the Cocoa Daisy February kit, because that kit is rainbow colored and very, very bright. And so, yeah, that was the idea behind it. And so I decided I would just back each of the circles with different pattern papers from the kit. What you just saw me do was actually distribute the embellishments that might work on the cut file on the background to see where I would or might be able to use any of the embellishments so that I could make the right color choices for my backgrounds for the pattern paper of the cut file. I haven't really backed any cut files. I think I did it once before, maybe twice. I'm not really sure. So this is new territory for me, and I wasn't sure how to go about the whole process, and choosing the right paper for the right circle and all that stuff. And that's why I went the extra mile and decided to spread my embellishments out before so that I could see what I had. And then I needed a journaling space background, and there are these notepads included in the memory keeping pocket kit, and I really loved the narrow space line width height line height, because I knew I wanted to write a lot, and I wouldn't be able to fit it all in if the lines were too spread out too far apart. So that worked really well. However, the paper wasn't big enough, so I decided to just go ahead and paper piece my journaling background. And this is where I'm trying to get it straight because I want the lines to be straight in the background and I want the cut file to be straight later on. So yeah, and then I mess up my background paper. And if you saw the finished layout in the beginning, the white background is not going to be what is in my layout at the end. Yeah, again, I was not sure how this was going to work, and yeah, it took me a lot of trial and error time. So now I'm copying all the things of the questionnaire that I gave my son to fill out, and I'm copying each one of them onto my journaling background. However, I realized that I didn't have enough prompts to fill the whole thing. So every time I remembered something that I could add, I added in, I think, 2 more things. So I am still working on backing my cut file, and I'm not going to make you watch all of this. I just wanted to show you how I went about it. And here you can see the backed cut file. I also changed out the photo. I was not happy with the huge head of my son, and I knew I had this photo printed again in a 3x4 size, and so I decided I am going to do that right now. And I also changed out the background, as you can see. This was the only full sheet of paper that was left in my kit after I had created cards and my pocket memory keeping spread, and then backed the cut file. And yeah, so I just placed it there to see if I really what it would look like, and I was totally impressed by the way the cut file stood out, and the backgrounds, or yeah, the backed cut files stood out, and I really loved it. And so I decided, okay, then I'm not going to do mixed media, and then I'm using this as my background paper. And I had actually thought about stitching all the circles, but you saw me taking off some of the parts of the circles because I didn't like how they overlapped some of the other parts, which then meant that I wouldn't be able to stitch a whole circle for many of the things where I wanted to stitch. I would have loved to stitch around the journaling, but that wouldn't work because, yeah, what would I do then? Would I do half a circle? So yeah, didn't do the stitching, didn't do the mixed media background, and now I'm going to start embellishing. I used the chipboard letters that came in the February kit. However, there is only 2 E's included in the kit, and 11, as far as I can count, has 3 E's. So I had to think of something, and I just turned around my 2 of my 3's and used the 3's in the beginning of the word and then the 1 E at the end. So yeah, they are different, and my youngest son was like, why did you put 3's on this layout? I was like, oh, well, why did you notice this? This was the first thing that he noticed. Thank you, my dear. Yeah, so I'm sticking down my chipboard letters because that is what is the first thing I need to have on the paper, and then I'm going to embellish around because I want the embellishments to nestle around the title, and so I need to know where everything is placed. I'm sorry for the bad lighting. I spent a long time on this layout, and the light, it got darker and darker outside, and yeah, evening time, and so the light just went away. Here I cut off the bird from the paper clip. I really liked the bird, but it just didn't work with the paper clip, and so I decided to just cut it off. It's a chipboard paper clip. It's totally easy to remodel this embellishment to be just another, a little bit more dimensional die cut. And then I decided to pop this love up on some foam I just stuck it down there, used some wet adhesive. I then went on to use dry, what is it, double-sided sticky adhesive, because it buckled my paper. I mean, it was just a little bit of wet glue, but that didn't really work very nicely. I really liked the birds. As you can see, they came in the classified memory keeping kit, and I loved how they were able to sit on each of those places there. You know, the circles. I could sit them there and they looked like they were standing on the edge of the circle. So they were going to be there, and I really liked having another yellow embellishment in the middle. There is this whole big yellow circle up there, and then the cut-off circle at the bottom right. So that really makes or stresses the diagonal again. What else can I tell you? I used mostly papers from the kit. However, the circle that is right behind this yellow bird, there was this huge die cut included in the kit that looked like a peacock feather, and that made the perfect backing for this circle. Also, the heart above the blue bird there, that was a banner that I just stuck behind that circle, and the date over there above the love, that is a die cut that I placed there right behind the circle so that I could add the date in later. Now I'm thinking about adding those stickers. I don't really like them. I think I'll take off one of them again. I'll leave in the one heart there, and then I use a stamp from the classified memory keeping kit, and I'm going to add that stamp right in to the white circle that is in another white circle. I think you will see it. I will add it to the layout later on. I am going to include some 1 or 2 phrase stickers. Here, see, I was thinking about adding the hearts, and now I'm taking them back off. And I really wanted to add the stamp, but I don't really know where. You will see it later on. And then I'm going to add one of those phrase stickers. I had been thinking about adding more than one, but I didn't find any more, and I really liked this one. And then I'm going to add the say what. I had it on there before, didn't know if it was going to work with all of the rest, but I decided that I like the way it fills up the empty space up there. And yeah, say what? He's already 11? I liked having a heart on there, even though I already have 2. But there was no heart that was big enough for that embellishment, so I decided to just cut this journaling card apart and trim out the heart. I had the arrow, but it didn't look right, and so I just cut the arrow off and nestled it right underneath the noted die cut. And then I'm just going to stick it down here, and I think I'm going to get out my stamps, and I'm trying 2 different colors. Not stamps, inks. Going to try 2 different colors, and I'm going with the Versa Magic. It looks almost as if it is the exact same color, and I'm stamping it right in there. Again, I'm thinking about adding something to each of the circles, but I just can't find stuff, and so I decided to just leave it simple. And yeah, here are a couple of close-ups. You can see I added puffy stickers to each one of the embellishment clusters around the title. And you can also see that I used a black fine liner pen to outline my title. When I came back the next day, it just felt like the right thing to do. Here are some more process videos on screen right now. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my next video. Until then, bye!